Raiders fans, make sure you hit that subscribe button. I've been noticing in my YouTube analytics, I've been getting a lot of watchers that are not subscribed this week. So I'm just going to guess if you're watching this video and you're not subscribed, then you're probably a closet 49ers fan. My name is Mitchell Renzis. Y'all are watching the Raiders Report, and coming up here on today's show, we're going to get into the Raiders training camp practice news and notes today. The number one thing that everybody needs to realize about practice today, it was a little bit laid back. It was non-padded, but a certain person was definitely the MVP today, and his name is rookie wide receiver Jack Bech. Flat out, I had a source text me after practice, and he said, quote, Jack Bech dominated today. And I'm going to tell you this right now. I love being able to hear that because we've seen the hype around Trey Tucker. We have heard the hype around Michael Mayer. We have heard the hype around Dante Thornton Jr. And if there's been probably a receiver, a player that hasn't been getting as much attention as some of those other names that we've seen, like a Brock Bowers, like a Jacoby Myers, like an Ashton Genty, it's the second-round wide receiver out of TCU, Jack Bech. And here's the thing. He made multiple really nice catches today, and he was able to show that he's a strong, physical player, not afraid to be able to take some contact when catching the football, quote, doesn't flinch in traffic. And I love being able to hear that because that's the style of player that we got to look for in Bech. I understand that he's not going to be a field stretcher like Tucker and Dante, and he might not have the hands like somebody like Jacoby Myers, but the way that Bech is going to get out there onto the field, it's being physical, showing the team that he can block, showing the team that he's going to be able to make contested catches, because I really envision him being a big prominent figure, probably a little bit more in the red zone or on a third down or some just more physical plays overall. So the notes that I got today on Jack Bech, I'm not going to lie to you, they really, really fired me up, man. Other players that did get some work today with the ones, Colin Johnson and Alex Bachman, they just rotated them in a little bit more. And I want people to look at this, and I want you to, hopefully that light bulb went off in your head and go, well, that's what the Raiders did last week. Exactly. The Raiders also did this last week before the Seahawks preseason game. And I think ultimately what they're trying to do here is they're trying to create more chemistry with Geno Smith. And quite frankly, I think what the Raiders are doing right now is they're flat out telling you that Jack Bech is your wide receiver 4, and Alex Bachman and Colin Johnson are kind of battling for that wide receiver's 5 spot because, yes, Tommy Amalata is still developing, but he's not quite ready to compete with all these guys. Because Geno's been working with Brock, with Michael, a lot of those other guys with the ones, I think what you're seeing right here is the next group of receivers that the Raiders wanted to get a little bit more chemistry with Geno Smith. Quite frankly, I think you're going to see a little bit of this going up against the 49ers this week. So with Bech going out there and dominating today, I want y'all to look into that crystal ball. Maybe it's your crystal balls. I don't know. And go down in the comments section and let me know how many catches for Jack Bech this upcoming season. My answer is going to be after this YouTube ad break. I know that this might seem like a small number, but I'm going to project somewhere around 53 targets for Bech. I'm going to give him 35 catches for 423 yards and 2 touchdowns. I went back and I looked over the past few Raiders seasons, and I saw the target getters that were probably around the 7th, right around the 6th, right around the 5th highest target getter. And I understand that our offense has not been very high-flying, especially through the air. I totally get it. But what I did want to look at is, all right, well, when Derek Carr was the quarterback, who exactly was he targeting? And how many times were the Raiders targeting these receivers that are just buried a little bit more on the depth chart? I understand it's a totally different offense. Geno Smith is a much better quarterback than what Derek Carr is, and Chip Kelly is a much better offensive coordinator than what we've had in the past. But I do think of the Raiders' target getters, and I think that's how you have to look at this Jack Bech conversation when you're trying to project targets. And I understand that he's not going to be somebody that's going to lead this team in receiving yards, targets, and receptions. But I do want to show y'all this because I think the fact that Bech is going to be somebody where right now I project him as the 7th most targets for the Las Vegas Raiders this upcoming season. I think that that's a lot of talent. I don't think that people realize how much talent the Raiders do actually have in terms of the wide receiver room and the tight end room, and nobody's really going to disagree with me. I think I'm 1 and 2. We know that Bowers, we know that Jacoby are going to be our top 2, and then I did put Trey Tucker at number 3 because I think he's going to be somebody that is going to get close to 100 targets this upcoming season. I put Genty at 4 because he's going to be on the field a lot, and he's going to be somebody where I could absolutely see him getting 70 targets. Maybe he only catches 50 of those balls. Dante Thornton Jr., Michael Mayer, Jack Bech. You can make an argument for all these players to be woven in there. I threw in Ian Thomas at number 8, but I really wanted to show, just because I am projecting only, and I use air quotes here, only 53 targets, 35 grabs, 423 yards, 2 touchdowns for Bech. It's not because I'm not excited about Bech. It's because there's a lot of mouths to feed in this Raiders offense. But the fact that he was out there looking the way he did today, playing the way that he did today, if that's somebody that can take his game to the next level, this is going to be a really sneaky Raiders offense that I do really, really think is going to shock some people. Though, depending on who you talk to, people are going to go, oh, Mitch, it's the Raiders. They're going to end up stinking. I actually don't think that they're going to stink. Coming up next here on the show, more Raiders training camp news, and to make sure that you don't stink, it's our sponsor here, Mando. And I'm telling you what, I need you to listen loud and clear. The Raiders season, it's almost here, and if you plan on traveling to Vegas, I have the perfect hack for you so you don't stink thanks to our sponsor, Mando. As a special offer, for listeners, new customers get 20% off site-wide with our exclusive code. Use code CHAT at shopmando.com for 20% off site-wide plus free shipping. 2 products that I am obsessed with right now. Mando's 4-in-1 acidified cleansing bar and Mando's sweat control deodorant stick. For the 4-in-1 acidified cleansing bar, it's shampoo, face wash, body wash, and deodorant all in one bar. Honestly, you can also use it as like a shaving lather, so basically it's like 5-in-1. You're going to be able to save space in your bag. It simplifies your whole hygiene routine, which if it's me, I need as simple as I possibly get. I just simply can't do what my wife does for her hygiene routine. For the Mando sweat control deodorant stick, it is only for your armpits. It's going to fight sweat. It's going to give you that double protection. Stop odor before it starts. All-day odor blocking, and it's not just masking with a fragrance. Mando starter pack is perfect for new customers. It comes with a solid stick deodorant, cream tube deodorant, 2 free products of your choice, like a mini body wash and deodorant wipes, and free shipping. As a special offer for our listeners, new customers get 20% off site-wide with our exclusive code. Use code CHAT at shopmando.com for 20% off site-wide plus free shipping. If you don't know how to spell, well, I'm going to spell it out for you. shopmando.com. Please support our show. Tell them that we sent you. Mando's got you covered. Protect your pits. Smell great doing it. And you know what? If you don't want to stink when you go to a Raiders game, Mando is going to help you out. Though if you're a 49ers fan, you stink already. Coming up next here on the show, we're going to get into more Raiders training camp news. And again, today was more of a laid-back practice. The Las Vegas Raiders, for those that do not know, it's a little bit of an FYI today. Tomorrow is joint practice. And tomorrow's joint practice is on Thursday. Then the Raiders are going to have an off day on Friday, and then they're going to be ready to go up against the San Francisco 49ers on Saturday. So again, the notes that I'll give you today, and anytime you see non-padded practice, take a lot of this stuff with a grain of salt. But when you see padded practice and the Raiders prepping for tomorrow's joint practice, I know a few guys, not going to mention names, have told me how excited they are to just beat the shit out of some 49ers players. And I think that you might know who one of them is. He wears number 98. Did not practice today. There's 4 names. Alex Kappa continues to miss practice, dealing with that rib injury. Lucky Fotu did not practice, but so at least some good news around him. It does look like he's trending in the right direction. He is out of that boot, and he's been in that boot for several days, and I do almost wonder if he knows, like, man, if I don't get my ass out there on that field, I'm not going to make this roster. And, you know, that's got to be a motivating factor for him. Lonnie Johnson Jr. is still obviously dealing with that broken leg. He's hopefully going to be back week 4, week 5. And then Thomas Harper. I don't know exactly what's going on here. I'll be real. I've reached out to a lot of different sources around the Las Vegas Raiders, and I have no information on what exactly is going on with Harper. He played in only 1 snap against Seattle, and that was out of that game. Somebody that they were using quite a bit. Hasn't been on the practice field, hasn't been able to participate essentially, I'll say the last like 2 to 3 days. I'm wondering what's going on with him, but this is somebody who I thought could end up making that roster, and I think Terrell Edmunds is going to get a really big opportunity this week against San Francisco. One note that I did want to get, I saw Jermaine Pratt. It was reported earlier that he did not practice. I forget who said it necessarily because somebody said it to me on social media. I reached out to my guy at practice, and he told me that he did actually, in fact, practice. So I don't know how many people out there saw that Jermaine Pratt did not practice. Say that a few times fast. I just wanted to be able to sit up here and clear any air. Jermaine Pratt did, in fact, practice today. I wanted to be able to say that. In terms of our starting offensive line today, this is something that I'm always going to talk about because, quite frankly, it's the first thing that I look for is Jackson Powers-Johnson in the starting offensive line. And right now, this is what this team is going to go with. And I believe when everybody is healthy, even Alex Kappa, Jackson Powers-Johnson is going to be the right guard. Jordan Meredith today even spoke to the media a little bit, and he said that, Pete Carroll kind of told him, hey, man, months ago, that we like what you offer at center. We think that you're a great communicator, and that's one of the things that the Raiders are really looking for in this Chip Kelly offense. It's the ability that the quarterback can be the president, but the center needs to be the vice president, and they need to be a good communicator. I do wonder if one of the things that maybe we don't know is maybe Meredith is just a better overall communicator than somebody like JPJ. Somebody who looked really sharp today, Geno Smith. He connected with a few different guys, being able to stretch the ball down the field. He had a really nice touchdown throw to Trey Tucker today that went for a solid 60 yards. But Geno Smith continuously looks sharp. Geno Smith is the leader of this football team. Geno Smith is this franchise quarterback. Another guy who continues to look good is Kai Blue Kelly. And he got reps with the number ones again. And these are not nickel corner reps. These are outside corner reps, and he's getting a little bit of snaps, over somebody, Darian Porter. Now, don't get me wrong, Darian Porter is still working with the ones and twos, but there is a part of me where I'm sitting back and I'm going, is this a Kai Blue Kelly versus Darian Porter situation? Is this a Kai Blue starting to pass to Camryn Richardson situation? I'll be very transparent. I like these stories. I like being able to hear that, again, Kai Blue seems like he's doing a lot better, and he has been doing a lot better. But I am genuinely concerned about the depth of our cornerback room if Kai Blue Kelly is good enough to be a starter on this team. It's not a knock on Kai. It's just me being very honest and very, very transparent. But I am a little bit nervous about this cornerback room. Maybe one of the reasons why Trey Tucker caught that deep touchdown pass. Again, I think what we got to understand is Trey is really, really starting to put it together, and he's just showing how electric he is, how fast he is, his deep field ability, and really his just ability to do so many different things in this Chip Kelly offense. I don't know if y'all saw, I don't know how many people watched the fantasy football live draft yesterday on ESPN, but I got to give a shout out to my girl, Anita Marks. Even though you said my name wrong, it's all good. I told her to draft Jacoby Myers in a PPR league. I'm telling all y'all, if y'all are going to play in a standard fantasy football league, I don't know if there's a better value out there right now that you could get as a potential 3 wide receiver than Tucker. They love his blocking. They love his ability to be physical. They love his pre-snap motion, and this is going to be a team that does a lot of that. Trey Tucker continuously shows me in all the notes out of camp, he's getting better and better and better. I'm hoping the Raiders get better, and I'm hoping that they look better up against the San Francisco 49ers compared to the way that they played up against Seattle this past week. If you do not know, I am going to be live for this game, and I'm going to be going live 2 hours early. Yeah, you heard it, 2 hours early here on the Raiders Report. Make sure you're subscribed. We're going to be battling our 49ers channel, and I don't want to just kind of beat them. I want to embarrass them. You know what I'm talking about? I want to beat them, and I want to have that feeling the way that we did when the Raiders beat the freaking Chargers 63-21. I want to embarrass them. And, well, here's some extra incentives if you want to tune in. Tomorrow I will be live. It's going to be Thursday happy hour since we don't work on Friday. This is my final show of the week before the Raiders game on Saturday. We're going to be giving away 2 tickets. If you want to have 2 tickets, and they're good seats. I believe they are section 139. I'll have to double check on my phone, but I believe these are section 139. I'll be honest, I don't know these seats. I'd have to look at that one. Chug said that these are in the 400s. So the Monday Night Football game in the 400s, these are in the section 100. But if you're like, dude, I'm going to be in Las Vegas. I'm going to be around for the Raiders 49ers game. Maybe you're going to the game and you're like, well, If I get a deal, I'll be able to go. I'm giving away 2 tickets, so pull up tomorrow for a chance to win 2 tickets. And then on Saturday, when the Raiders and 49ers are playing, we're going to give away 1 ticket for Raiders-Chargers Monday Night Football. Sounds electric to me.